All right. We've got an amazing event tonight. Another CEO Cocktails and Conversations. We are You Killin' It? Check out some of the highlights from tonight's event.
And we're back to Are You Killin' It podcast. How y'all doing tonight? We had an incredible CEO event tonight. Tonight, our topic was, so you think you want to open a non-profit. We had some incredible speakers. Stacy Lockhart from Hope Lincoln, Southern Nevada. We had Dr. Victoria Boyd from Philanthropreneur.
Say that again.
Philanthropreneur, right? And we had two incredible speakers from HRC. On the audit side, they specialize in really working on taxes for nonprofits. Incredible information. We had some of our sponsors, Chicanos por la Causa, and the man himself, Kirk Allaire.
From Gratis Gives.
Woo!
In harmony, bro. That's right.
But let's just start off right out the gate. What was one of your key takeaways from tonight's event with all the information that was presented?
So first of all, it was a great event. Another great CEO event for you guys. What a great panel as well. Some great knowledge came out tonight. Obviously, people on that panel have been doing this for a long time. Everything from the audit all the way down to marketing and how to do each and every component of the nonprofit. So I thought it was great for the room full of people to hear.
Yeah.
And it really cleared up probably some questions from some people that were, do I want to do a nonprofit? Do I not want to do a nonprofit? So it was a great event. I met a lot of great people tonight, a lot of great local business owners, and just happy that I was here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming down. And one of the things I was kind of surprised was the number of business owners. At the end, when we said stand up if you have your own nonprofit, the number that stood up.
I couldn't believe it.
And just some of the causes, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that I love, Kurt, about what you do. And it really is, it really goes into the heart of the community and the give back. And why don't you kind of explain to everybody exactly what it is Gratis Gives does?
So Gratis Gives empowers local business owners to make an impact in their community. Pretty much one transaction at a time. Because what we've done is we've taken the concept of payment processing and we've turned it into vital funding for local nonprofits. So, to sit and meet with local nonprofits and to help them further their cause and further their mission is amazing. But more, as important as that is the connection between these local business owners and these local nonprofits. Because as you heard tonight, exposure is everything, right?
Yep.
So, taking a business owner that wants to be more involved with the community that doesn't know how, and tying him to a nonprofit that needs people like him, it's key.
Yeah.
It's key.
And I think also another thing that was loud and clear was the funds, right? Because when you give them these funds, they can use them for anything, right?
The unrestricted dollars.
So very uncommon. Most funds that the nonprofits get, they're restricted because they come in the form of a grant. And they are told what they can do with that money. Sometimes you can't use it to hire people. Sometimes you can't use it for websites or exposure. We had a nonprofit once that it was a safe house for a domestic violence center, and they needed a new septic system. But because all of the grants were coming in as restricted funds, they had all this money, but they couldn't get the septic system for their safe house.
Right.
So the concept of unrestricted funds is very important for nonprofits.
Yeah. And so, Kurt, you also have your own business where you help companies, right, with the credit card processing. I want to ask you this question because you were saying tonight, you said you coached football for how many years?
16 years.
16 years.
That's so cool.
As a football coach.
I still have kids come up to me and say, "Hey, coach."
Yeah.
And I don't know who they are. Yeah. Because it was like 20 years ago. Yeah.
So my question for you is this. How would you correlate, or how has being a football coach helped you in running a business?
Yep.
So I used to tell the kids, football is not a contact sport. Dancing is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell my wife, hey, don't worry about our son. It's not a contact sport.
Yeah.
If you're not okay with colliding with people at full speed, this is not your game, right? I say that because, building a business and building a nonprofit, it's a collision. It's a game of collision, right? It's a lot of work. Some days you're high and some days you're low and sometimes it's painful and sometimes, game on. So, there's no difference. You heard it tonight by the panel that just because it's a nonprofit doesn't mean it's not a business. That lady had a $10 million budget tonight, and she said it's like running a $10 million company.
Yeah, and that's one of the key takeaways for our community. If you all listening in on this, that if you're going and are interested in a nonprofit or opening a nonprofit, first and foremost, really desire to own a business. What Dr. Victoria Boyd was talking about, from the philanthropreneur.org, is the IRS doesn't look at you as a nonprofit. You're a tax code. You are just a 501c3, but you are a business taxed differently.
Yeah, they go. Right? She said, take that out of your mindset. Mm-hmm. Let's first throw that away.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that comment.
And then pairing that with what Stacy was talking about, of look, running a business. Before you do that, go to school for it. Get involved with one. Get on a board of one. Really be immersed before you decide, hey, I want to do this. And the next thing was, if it's something you want to do, what are you servicing that's completely different? I'm going to put a challenge to you all out tonight. If you want to open a nonprofit, they are incredible, and you have the right heart and mission, and there's organizations like Gratis Gives that helps to raise some of the, I'm assuming, unrestricted dollars, right, yes, to help you, with that cause. But there's so many amazing organizations already out there that, don't look past somebody who's already out there doing something. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, right? How amazing is it to find that alignment, that synergy, and move the needle that way.
They talked tonight about, the first thing they say when someone says, I want to open up a nonprofit, they say, don't.
That was tonight.
But the reason for it was awesome because they talked about the concept of silos, right? If you open up a nonprofit that is already servicing that need, another nonprofit is already servicing that need, then you're splitting up the pie, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't you just go serve at that nonprofit? Right. If that truly is your passion, then go serve, right? And it's another good thing about nonprofits. It really sifts out the leaders, because the biggest difference between the leaders, some of them are positional and some of them are true leaders. And if you're a volunteer and people follow you, you're a leader, right?
You used to have
if you own the company and people follow you, it's because you pay them.
I used to have a pastor at a church, and he would say that people would come up to him and say, hey, I want a leadership position, and he'd say, okay, who's following you? Let me look behind you. Well, you're probably not. Probably not a leader.
If you're a leader and there's no one following you, you're just taking a walk.
All right, Kirk, another thing is, so you were brought up in Boston?
That's right.
Youngest of 11.
Youngest of 10. Yep.
All right,
8 boys, 2 girls.
8 boys. And what you have a little party line regarding that?
Well, youngest of 8 boys. If I wasn't funny, and if I didn't eat fast, and if I didn't eat fast, be funny, and talk loud, I was dead. Right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. And when did you move into the Reno market?
22 years ago.
22 years. Yeah. What brought you out there?
Big plane. No, I'm just kidding.
A wagon train. The Mormon Trail.
No, my career at the time. I used to be in the log home industry, and I was the corporate sales trainer and national business developer.
Nice.
I managed 110 reps from California to Maine, and about a dozen of them Canada as well.
Nice.
As we wrap up tonight, a couple tips for our audience. I want to give you all this. There is marketing money out and available for you. If you did not know this, Google themselves gives $10,000 in marketing a month. It's $120,000 a year. It's available if you qualify for it, and it's amazing. So I know that's another tip that Dr. Victoria Boyd brought.
There was so many tips tonight. You know, I think it's just and just some great organizations here in Southern Nevada, and I think the biggest thing in there is they need more money.
Right.
You know
what's funny about that Google thing? It's reversed restricted.
Yeah.
It lets you use it for anything except for this one thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was political, right? I thought that was pretty crazy. I had not heard that before.
Oh wow. Okay. So you can use it for anything except political.
Yeah.
Google. They have their own restrictions.
And that's a Google restriction.
That's a Google restriction.
Nice.
And I liked one other tip is, or now I wouldn't say tip, but things that really stood out is on the tax side, the structure, the audit side that most people never look at. When a lot of people get in a 501c3, they see the tax benefit and they look at that, but they don't look at the ramifications of what's your organizational structure look like, who's signing what, who's picking up what. The audit, if you start taking money from the government and start taking grants in, you better account for everything. And if you have not had that experience of running a business and accounting for it, you're going to be lost in the sauce.
Or hire a professional.
Or hire a professional.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because those people tonight, they knew their game. When they talked about UBI with the unrestricted business income for nonprofit, and I was just floored that they brought that up because that's in the weeds. It's good information, amazing information.
Yeah.
But
it's getting in there.
it's good.
All right, let me ask you this. So if merchants want to get involved with Gratis Gives, kind of give us the intro. How do they get a hold of you? Then what happens? Kind of give us the steps.
So, for the first part of the process, we're no different than any other merchant services. You contact us either via phone or via website, reach out, and
what's that website?
gratisgives.com.
Yep.
Right? And we will do an analysis on your current situation. We will give you a side-by-side comparison about what you're doing now versus what you should be doing with us. That's where the similarities stop. Because what we do at that point is, once we identify the savings that you should be receiving and that you are fully entitled to, once we identify those savings, we then ask you, the business owner, to turn around and reallocate a piece of that savings back to one of the participating nonprofits that you care about. Not that I care about, that you care about. And what that has done is it has helped us build that bridge between the business community and the nonprofit community, which has been super rewarding.
Yeah, and we were up at the event up in Reno, and how many people were at that event? Like 350, 400 people?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was.
I had fun.
And that's just in 3 years, 3.5 years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, and so we're bringing that now down to Vegas, to Southern Nevada, and
here we come.
Yeah, we're gonna help champion this, and our goal is to get the message out and get people involved, because it's kind of like whenever we're meeting with somebody and we start talking to them about legacy. Hey, what's your legacy? Right? Okay, you got a killer business. Hey, what's your legacy? This is like you make that step like simplistic and easy. So, all right, here's how easy it is.
Just because you build currency does not mean that you build legacy. But if you build legacy, currency will come with it.
That's so true. And we saw that. I mean, at that event, and I think the community. You watch this community embrace it, work together to really help, again, make the community as a whole a better place and a better place to live. So, awesome.
It was awesome to have you there, man. Thank you.
Kurt, we appreciate you. We thank you so much. Thank you for coming out to Are You Killin' It? And Kurt, I want to ask you this question. Are you killing it?
Hell yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time, guys.